Do you agree with the view that the current financial crisis has fundamentally altered the structure of the world order, with a declining America, a resurgent Russia, and a rising India and China?
Thank you. I don't think it is a crisis as such which is going to change the world order. Even without this crisis, the world order would have changed, say, in 10, 20, 30 years. It was the natural growth of the Chinese, of the Indians, maybe the Brazilians, if the Russians keep on having oil, then also the Russians. But the Russians are an old power. By 2020 or 2030, China will have a GDP which will equal America. And by 2050, she'll have a GDP per capita about half of America, although her population is 4 times. That means the influence, markets, people around the world, especially governments, project a course forward and say, what will that position be in 10 years? And so you know that in 10 years, regardless of this financial crisis, China is going to be that much bigger. She was growing at 8, 9, 10, 11%. America was making 2, at the most 3%. But this financial crisis, of course, has shortened the time frame, probably by 3, 4, 5 years. But I do not believe the Americans are finished. I think they are still a dynamic economy. If you look at the past records, they are the most flexible, most entrepreneurial, and willing to re-emerge in new forms. So they lost their manufacturing in 1980s and 1990s to the Germans and the Japanese. Germans for machine tools and mechanical instruments, and the Japanese for electronics. But then they discovered the internet and they did other things, and they're still the leading economy. And they have that kind of capability, and they're attracting talent from all over the world. So if you go there, you'll find that every other research lab in many of the professions, half are foreign talent. It's difficult for China to create that kind of environment because 1, culture, 2, language. The American culture is all-embracive. You can come in as a migrant, you can speak with your accent, but as long as we understand you, well, we accept you as an American. And the English language is the world's first or second language. So these advantages will remain. But the Chinese movement upwards will also continue. India will grow at about 60% the pace of China. Today its GDP is about half, well, 1/3 really. But it's a very large country, 1 billion people, and the top layer are very capable people. So you find 2 million Indians in the U.S. But why they have allowed themselves to be deprived of these 2 million Indians, I do not understand. I think it's a loss for India and a gain for America. But they have left because the infrastructure in India is very poor, children's education, their personal sense of fulfillment, and that slows India's development at least by 30-40%, losing that talent. So I think the financial crisis has nothing to do with this. This is a long-term trend.
Thank you. Thank you, Eamon.